5, x2, which is 5, minus x1, which is 2. And this is going to give us 4/3 at the slope. So m is equal to this. Once you know the slope, you can even write the equation. You know that the equation is always given by what y 2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 is equal to slope. The slope is now 4/3. You can put any, you can just make it general. Let's say y minus one of, you can choose this one as what you are doing with minus 3 over x minus 2 is equal to 3 and 4/2. 4/3 equal to 4. And this one, if you expand, you get an expression for y is equal to mx time multiplication. So that is how. So when you are given 2 points, first find the slope and then use the slope to generate another equation. That's very simple. When two lines meet, the gradient of two lines which are 90 degrees to each other is -1. That one you can remember. The gradient, if they are parallel, then it is the gradient is the difference the angle between them, and becomes a if you multiply them together. Okay, gradients, if two lines are at 90 degrees, if you multiply the gradient, you get -1. If they are parallel, then it will give you 7. Alright, so I think I've explained this one. So let me clean the question so I can have enough space for the next section. So let me just summarize again. So sometimes I'm just giving you 1 point, I'm giving 2 points. Okay. So if you're asked to find the equation of the line, so always the equation is m is equal to y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So that's it. So you just need to, so you must always know the gradients and then put in the expression and get the answer. So if it's any one that you are giving m is equal to, you can just, when it is only one, you can just use y minus that x, it is 3, y minus this, it's y, x minus 8x. So this is expression. So it means you should get the gradients before you can get an expression. Other than that, you have 3 variables. So the gradient should be given to you. The gradient should be given to you in the question. So that would be for 1. The gradient should be given to you, and then for that. So for 2, the same expression, m is equal to y squared minus y, so y substitute 2, x substitute 2 minus x. So x final, x initial. So here, if you are given 2, you can find the gradient. Because if you put in y2 is here, 5 minus 3, and then 7 minus 2. This is going to give us what 2/4, which is equal to 2/4, which is equal to what 1/2 is half. So it means m is equal to half. Once you know the gradients, you can work out the equation. So if m is equal to half, you can just say y minus any of the value that either base or that, you can use anything. You can come up to the same answer. Let's say y minus 8y, which is 5, and let's say x minus 8 corresponding x, which is what 7. Then you work it out. Okay. If you do that, you get the y is equal to mx plus c equation. Right. So that is that. It's very simple to get these questions. Correct. So you can give me 1 point and give me 2. If you are given 2 points, it's easy. You can easily get the gradient. If you are given 1 point, you get the gradient. So that is that. Now let's move on to the final part. Let's see the last chapter. so that we are done with start sketching. So you said if two lines are parallel, then the m is equal to m1 is equal to m2. Their gradient will be the same. If they are 90 degrees, then m1 times m2 is equal to minus 1. Remember this, okay? Then that one can use to work out other things. So let's look at this kind of manipulations. You can be asked to find the length of coordinate. Maybe you are given coordinates 2, 3, and 5, 7. Then you are asked to find the length. Okay, so let's assume. So let's say we have 2 here, we have 3 here. So there's a point. We have 5 here, then we have 7 here. Let's see. So there's a line. So let's assume there's a line. Now between this is A, B. You can be asked to find the length A, B. How do you find the length A, B? We already know Pythagoras' theorem that if this is 90 degrees, this is the hypotenuse, this angle, with respect to this one, this becomes opposite, and this becomes what adjacent. We know that hypotenuse square is equal to adjacent square plus opposite square. It can be the other way around. You can also say let's get the y and this is x, so that we can say that a squared is equal to x squared plus y squared. This is also another equation. Right, so in that case, if we want to find h, then h becomes square root of what? X squared plus what? Y squared. But remember, x is equal to this x that we have here, x here, is equal to change in x, and this is equal to y is equal to change in y. Okay, so if we have this coordinate, the coordinate for this one is 2, 3. The coordinate for this one is what? 5, 7. And when we are asked to find the length of this line, all we need to do is change in y over change in x. Okay, and this is the hypotenuse. So this becomes the hypotenuse. This is the change in y, and this is the change in x. This change in y is equal to y2 minus y1, which is the same as y2 is what? 7. Y1 is what? 3 minus 3. And that is giving us 4. Now here, change in x is going to be, change in x is equal to x2 minus x1, which is going to be x2, which is 5, x1, which is 2. And that is going to give us what? 3 at the answer. So change in x, so the change in y is 4, the change in x is 3. That means the hypotenuse or the length of the line, is equal to the length of the line squared. Let's say h squared is equal to our 3, which is x squared, plus our y, which is 4 squared. Okay, so find square root of that, and then find square root of this. And this is going to give us the length alone. If you find square root, you get rid of that, then solve it. So that's going to be 9 plus 16. So that the length is equal to square root of what? 25, which is equal to 5. Right, so that is how it works out to be. So this is a typical example of how you can. So anytime, so from this expression, anytime you have 2 points given to you as a line. If you want to find the length of that line, just subtract find the difference between the y's, square it, find the difference between the x, square it, and then find square root. So it means length of a line. The length is equal to square root of changing y squared plus changing x squared. That's it. So this is the general. If you want to find the length of the line, this is the general. Okay, and this changing y, you know it is y2 minus y3, the y1, and this changing x is y x2 minus x1. Right. Also, okay. And that's exactly what you can say. So these ones are very easy to reduce or come out with a formula. Okay, so that is that. Let's look at the next one. So if you are playing the video where you didn't get it, you play back, and back, and then you get it. Now let's look at where a line is dividing another line. Let's look at where a line is dividing another line. Let's say like the one we did, let's say we have this line, coordinates here 2, 3, coordinates here 5, 7. Let's say this is a line. Okay, now there's a point here.